Hello, everyone. Lesley Myrick here. I am Nancy Ganzikoffer's associate coach. We are here with Peter and Alex from Daniel House Club, and I'm really excited for them to share with you today because you've probably been hearing about them. I feel like Daniel House Club is like a buzzy thing right now, and everyone's asking about it. There is such a huge advantage to using them for your design projects. And I'm going to let them talk a little bit about what sets them apart and what this feature is. So take it away, guys. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I think I explained last time, or did you?
I don't know,
You
but
go
we
for
can
it.
both explain. Just as a sort of overview of Daniel House Club, Alex and I started, we should clarify, we are brothers and not twins. We get that a lot. But we started as a design firm in 2015, and we quickly got pretty exciting projects. And we found that even though a scale of a project might be really large, it was still difficult to have sort of enough vendor relationships to make sure that the project felt like a home that was specific to our client. You know, you can maintain maybe 5 vendor relationships really well if you're doing a healthy amount of projects, but then you kind of feel like you're narrowing your client's options if you say, okay, you have to buy from here or I won't make any money. So, and that can be really a bummer if you're not making money. So Alex really started building this platform as something for us to use in our office, where we just had really good documentation of every vendor that we worked with, what their catalogs were, and what our profitability was going to be on specifying each piece. And then as we kind of made more friends in the design community, we learned that people working for 30 years still had the same problem that we were experiencing. So we thought, okay, others will benefit from this too. And last point on our sort of previous work in the design world, and I do still do projects, so I do use our tool. We had to have a full-time buyer to handle all of the ordering and tracking and logistics, which, as you know, can be a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
So once we developed this tool for ourselves, we found we no longer really needed to have that position, or that position could be freed up to do something much better with their time. So yeah, and I will, I think we're going to do some screen sharing to sort of teach people how to use this. But the high points are you can purchase from almost 200 vendors with the same set of pricing. We handle all the logistics for you. You can share your shopping cart with your client, or you can bill them the way that you always have. And you can decide the amount of the discount that you want to share with your client or not. And we encourage people to share as little as of their discount as possible, because we think profitability is really important. And we know that procurement work is a huge challenge and a huge part of the business. So
it is. And I think historically for independent designers, small design firms like me, it can be hard to make money on furnishings and decor, because by the time you are trying to compete, and I air quote that, with what's online, and pay someone on your team to handle the order, the tracking, the delivery, it either gets really cost prohibitive for your clients or you're just losing money. So I really like what you guys are offering. And what we're going to really dive into today when you're screen sharing is obviously how the system works, but specifically how Daniel House Club can be your procurement department. And this has definitely gotten a lot of designers' attention, myself included, because that is a real pain point. So I'm so happy to see someone solving that, because I went through a phase, and we coach a lot of designers in the Profit Insiders Academy who hit a point where they say, I don't even think I want to bother with furniture anymore. Like, I'm just going to do e-design, or I'm just going to do design only or consultations, because the procurement stuff can be such a nightmare. So the fact that you have a team and you're here to help us brings joy to my designer heart. So I'm going to put your screen up, and then please show us around the Daniel House Club website and how this procurement department thing works.
Sounds good. I think I will walk through this. Maybe if you've got some questions, either of you, or I could get some prompts, but I'll give you an overview first.
Sure.
And this is our homepage. Pretty simple, you know. It goes through what we do. But you can immediately jump into shopping and exploring our club. I will call out that if you are not logged in or you have not joined, you can see about 80% of the catalog.
Okay.
We do have another, I don't know, 20 or so thousand products that are locked and only viewable to verified designers. So if you're looking for something, join. You can join for free and see if we have it. But I'll log in.
And while Alex is logging in, I'll say we have 3 levels of membership. So we have a free one, which is just to kind of get started, play around. You get a 30% discount and 15% on your freight. And then the discount just goes up by membership level.
Is
so
the 15%, Peter, your net or client retail cost?
That's your net.
Your
so
net.
The shipping actually gets better as you go up.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah. Okay.
And we're very transparent. We don't make money on shipping. We set that to be basically break even.
We do our best not to lose
it's just
money.
a pass through. Yeah.
Not
losing money is good. That's how you stay in business. I support that.
When the holidays come around, we do lose money, but that's okay. You can still make money, but we made it that flat rate so you know what you're gonna pay in shipping, and you don't have
15% on designer net. And is that no matter which membership tier you have, it's always 15%?
Correct. And that means it goes.
But of course,
down.
as your discounts get higher, that 15%. Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get clarity. I know these are the questions designers have. Like, what are we paying for shipping? How does that look? And is that 15% residential drop shipping or receiver?
So that will go to any address that you want, but it will be a standard curbside. So you can upgrade it to be a white glove, but that is an additional fee.
And that white glove upgrade would be what we would call drop shipping. Like it would go to a client's home. It doesn't have to go to a dock, and it could be brought inside and that kind of thing.
Yes. Okay. I was going to say you can ship you can have it drop shipped to a client's driveway on that
for the same 15%.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So, and that's like a lot of people. Four Hands is one of our top vendors, and they don't ship residentially.
I know.
At all.
It's a pain point for me.
Yeah. And you can buy it through us 50% off and ship residentially anywhere for that 15%.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Keep going. I'll stop getting in the weeds, but I know this. These are the questions designers have. How does this really look on the back end?
You are one of the first people to really understand that the shipping rate goes down as you choose a higher level of membership. So I'm thrilled.
Definitely. So this is what you see when you first log in. I'll let you into some behind the scenes. We're going through a pretty major design refresh, and this is going to get a lot cooler. But it's meant to be your project overview. So you can create projects. These will be the most recent, give you some sense of the carts you have created out of those projects. So a cart is, and I'll go into more detail on all of these, but describing what you see in a cart can either be something you make to check out on your own or send to a client and they can check out. So if you're an e-designer, that's really great because you can just send them, say, oh, I like all these things. You can pick and choose, or you can lock it in and say, you have to buy this all together. And we'll take care of the rest and pay you a commission. I'll go through that a bit more, but I will start off with some shopping. So we try to be really intuitive. So I was going to make this joke earlier, but Peter does not know how to use computers.
I'm a technological idiot.
And while I'm not going to say most of our members are idiots, they're much smarter than Peter is. Yeah. We do find a lot of our members don't want to learn new software or new tools and just make it easy. So I
agree. We already have enough to deal with as designers. Like if you're going to offer us something, let's make it real easy and make it
really easy. Yeah. So, obviously there are points we can always continue to grow, but we've aimed to make it like, you want some furniture? Here it is. It's set up like an e-commerce site, not like a fancy software tool. So you can go through, browse. We try to have a ton of filters. So you can do by vendor, very upfront about what the vendors are. You can by lead time. So, and I'll give you some insight. Our lead times tend to be different from the manufacturer because we try to say when it will actually be delivered. Most lead times are calculated on when it will leave a warehouse.
Yeah. Okay. So if you see a discrepancy as a designer between what you're seeing on Daniel House Club versus maybe you have a direct login to that vendor, this is because you are factoring in time to get to client, not time to leave vendor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And we try to overestimate that a little bit, but it is by vendor, that we know, okay, this vendor takes a long time to get it out of the warehouse, and this vendor is going to go really fast, and so we'll make those calculations to give you something pretty realistic. And internally, we do track that on the back end, how often we're hitting our estimated lead time, and it's usually about 85% of the time. So
Nice.
trying to move that up. Our goal is 90. Okay, so you've got a lot of controls on what you're looking for. I'm just, while we're doing an overview, click into something, because you can then go in and it will show you your price. This is what you will pay as a designer. And then it shows you either the map or the MSRP. We'll roll out a feature soon that will show you the MSRP and the map. And so you have control and understanding of what this costs. We're trying to discount off the lowest price preemptively. Okay, now I'm answering questions that haven't been asked yet, but I know I get this one a lot internally. Vendors don't always tell us what their map is. And sometimes they don't have one. Sometimes they do have one and they don't know how to share it. Or sometimes it's negotiated per dealer. So like if you go to a different website, for instance, a Burke Decor, they might do a ton of volume with one vendor and have the ability to negotiate their own map pricing, which can be really tricky to compete with.
It can.
And so we give you a lot of pricing control. We want to give you a lot of pricing insight. So if you're seeing it's $200 somewhere else, you have the ability to give a small discount to your client right from our site. We can't really flex over the price point because that is usually actually set, but we try to give you enough insight to know.
And when you say extend a discount to your client as a designer, that percentage, that dollar amount would be coming off of the commission the designer would earn, right?
Yes.
So that's the understanding, is that it's certainly an option, but the designers need to understand that it lowers their commission on the product sales.
Yeah. But we've set it up so it's like, if you need to make this item $200 to compete with Kathy Quo or Wayfair, hopefully you not. Can. You can.
You can with Wayfair. Just let that one go.
Yeah. But you have that pricing control when you're actually sending it to a client. Then when you're shopping, when you're going around through all these collections, you can always save something to a project. And so I have this project, it's my own place. I have that made, maybe I can put it in my living room, or if I'm also, I can go through all of these other projects I have and put it in the various places I want to. Or if I don't have a project yet, I can create a new board. So projects consist of an overview that have of like Peter Spalding's house. And then you can create boards and say, okay, this is the living room stuff. This is the bathroom. This is his garage. And you can make that right here. It will allow you to either put it in an existing project or create a new project. If I do Spalding work, that's my name also.
Peter, just do Peter. That's my last name.
And then you can put that right
Peter.
in the new board, and then you've saved it.
Awesome. So we've picked a product. It's on the board. Say this is the only item you're doing for a client, and they're like, yes, I want it. What happens next? How do you guys, what do the designers do? And then what do you do to take the procurement off of our plates?
Yeah. I should have clicked on a cooler item for that.
I actually think I was looking, I'm like, that's kind of a pretty table. I like it.
Table. And a nice price. Okay. So after that, you can go, I'm going to click into a board that has more items so you can see this. I'll go back to, and these are all the projects I have made. Where is mine? That's the one I have the most in. Slight delay. Sorry, slow internet.
While you're looking, I'm assuming there's no limits to the number of projects and boards, right?
No, there are no limits. We're always working through technical issues. Sometimes if you add over 100 products to a single board, it can create some glitches. It's a known issue. We are working on it. Fortunately, most boards don't have over 100.
I would agree. That's got to be quite the room, or you're picking every accessory if you have 100 items. But so assuming we have, 10, 20 items to purchase.
Yeah.
Show them edit project details here.
Oh, okay. So yeah, when you're in a project, you can add some details here. You can include your client email for interactions you want to make. Description, this isn't seen by the client. You can also, on the project level, you can do this by board too, and I'll show that.
Oh, nice.
You can say your discount share. So this is my own house, so I gave myself 100% discount. But if I want to share just 50, or you can do that, or any amount, and this will show you. We use the discount share term, so it is sharing a percentage of your discount. So if you've got a 50% discount and you want to share 20% of that, that means your client saves 10% and your margin is then 40%.
I love those numbers in red and how clear you make that, because Nancy and I teach that your net profit margin, ideally overall for the project, should be between 40 and 60%. Yes. So that is really helpful to know your numbers.
Yeah,
and to know where you're going to land.
I also think it's helpful to see here that it is possible with your discount with us to still offer your client a little bit of discount and hit 40%.
I agree, especially when you're at that top tier of getting 50% off of MAP or retail.
Yeah, and it suddenly makes furniture much more appealing to sell, because if you're doing a lot of it, you can make a lot of money. It did become our biggest profit center in our design business, actually.
Yes.
Okay. There are a couple other details, obviously site address. I'm going to call attention to this target install date. We just added this and we haven't completed building out the automations, but we have set this up so we can actually help you hit your dates. And having some reminders like, oh, your install date is set for whatever. And we've noticed you've only done, or you've got boards ready, but they haven't been shared. And we'll do some of that. Not to be irritating, but we know that this can be hard to hit otherwise, especially when it's related to lead times fluctuating all the time. So
before you move on, Alex, we've got a quick question coming in. And I know this is kind of the elephant in the room, but I'd love if you could address it. The question being, is this like side door? And I think there's obvious comparisons, and I think what we're diving into today is what makes it a little bit different. But do you have any thoughts to share on that? Because I think side door is doing great stuff too. Like there's always going to be more players in this market. But what's your take on that?
Well, we should start by saying we don't actually have a side door account. It's very similar to side door. What we know to be the number one thing we know to be different is we provide excellent customer service after you make a purchase. So we have had a number of side door refugees because they have felt a little bit marooned. I don't know if that's still the case, but one of our key differences is like a concierge level service all the way until you have the perfect piece or pieces installed. And we're going to help you with all your RMA claims and all that sort of stuff until everything is satisfactory.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The other difference that I believe is still different is that we set uniform pricing across all vendors. So whereas I think side door is sort of different pricing per vendor, that is not the case here. We do have some exceptions to our pricing. For instance, Four Hands allows a maximum discount of 35% anywhere. And to help our Pro Plus members get to that 50%, we ship everything free for Four Hands. So
that makes sense. So that's offsetting some of that difference. Okay.
Yep. And so we have a couple other like that as well.
We also, on our top tier, emphasize that it's really not designer net. It is volume designer or wholesale pricing. So you are buying basically like you're a store.
Well, I see that being a big difference is that you have those premium tiers where as a designer, you can get 50% off, whereas side door is a little bit different. We've got one more question on Instagram from She Does Your Books, and she's asking, are designers able to order custom pieces through you? I know it's a bit of a tangent, but I'd love for you to answer that since people are curious about what you've got going on here.
Yeah, so we when we say custom, we mean you could order, like you could fully customize something from a major upholstery manufacturer that does, custom and semi-custom. You can't, like, currently you couldn't say I'm designing this wild banquette that I want to insert in. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Someday we would love to. That would be great to facilitate. But we have a number of artisan type of vendors who, if you are working on a project, we would be able to connect you and help you realize that.
And then for custom upholstery, we're actually really emphasizing that now. We have an ongoing custom upholstery sale with free shipping on all custom upholstery. Little plug there. But currently we have Bernhardt, EJ Victor, Kindle Council, Cargus, Mossad, Thayer Cogan, Theodore Alexander, and Wesley Hall that you can all order custom upholstery from. You can go in here and you can order it as shown or with standard variants. You can also go through and start a custom order. And here you can go and actually start filling out the details you want. So we can get you an actual quote for that item. Eventually,
cool.
We want to make this all live and a visualizer, but this is basically taking their form and putting it online so we can get it set up, and then we'll handle all the back and forth with the vendor itself, and all the same terms still apply once we have that quote in place.
How do designers get fabric samples? Do we go direct to the vendor? Do we ask you for it and you act as our liaison to get those, for these custom pieces?
Yeah, we can get them for you, and we'll just coordinate all of that. You can request with all of these vendors. You can request a sample. I wish we were talking. Well, we are talking again in a couple months.
We'll show you the new one.
Oh yeah, we'll be doing this again. There's lots more to dive into.
A button. It's technologically very complicated. I don't know how many of the designers listening have built websites. They look easy on the front and they're really hard on the back end. But we're trying to build a button on any product that has a sample available that would just let you add a sample, and we'll handle the rest. So It's in the line. In the meantime, email us and we'll take care of it.
Love it. Sorry for taking you on those tangents.
You're fine.
But thank you. Those are great questions. The responses coming through. Everyone's like, this is so cool. Thank you. So that's great.
And just so you know, all of your communication goes to concierge@danielhouse.club. We don't have like multiple people that you have to email. And our concierge team is extremely responsive. And kind of to that end, if you are shopping and you're in a collection and you know that there's a product that we don't have from that collection, but you know they sell it, just email them, our concierge, and say, hey, I want this product added. And we typically have it up and added for you within 24 or 48 hours. And actually that's currently about 40% of our sales are custom product requests. So it's a very active part of the business.
I just found this out yesterday that our average response time to inquiries is under 4 hours. So I was
boom, mic drop. That's awesome. Because that's another pain point, not hearing back from vendors or companies you're ordering from, and you're in limbo going, they have my money, where's my order, what's happening here, why is no one responding to me?
We used to just kind of like throw up our hands and be like, why won't you sell me your things? Like, I don't understand.
I'm trying to give you my money.
Yeah, I know. I just want to buy the sofa. I've got cash. Like, what's the problem here?
Yes, it's not. So yeah, that's big for us.
Beautiful.
One business day response or less. Okay, there are a bunch of other things that came up in my mind, and I'm trying to go through in a linear.
We could do this for like 6 hours. I know there's so much to dive into here.
We should probably show them how to check out.
Well, that's where I'm going next. Okay. So if you go, you've got your project. We were just there. You could set that up by room or however you want, product type. And then you can click into a board. I have a dining room I want to update. It's also my office. No, I really just put some random stuff in here. But this is a board, so you can see key stats, your price. This is the price you've set it to. So I've shared that none of my discount on this, but if I update this, it will change the pricing here. and show me the total. I don't need 3 desks. I can update that.
I was wondering that, but no
yeah.
judgment. Maybe you've got a really big office.
Little office in my
And you see it's showing you what your client's going to be paying and what you're going to be making. You were making a lot more a minute ago.
Yeah, right? I should
He's making nothing now.
Off myself.
And so that'll update as you add product.
Wow. I love that you have dimensions on that quick view too. Yes. That was like, that's definitely a designer thinking through how this page should look.
I'm excited. Maybe I shouldn't say this because I don't want to give anything away to our competition. Our new collection pages, so as you're browsing, will have dimensions right next to the price, so you can see everything together.
That's awesome. Such a time saver.
We talk to our designers all the time. If you're not a member and you have an idea, let us know. We're going to try to build that in. But that was a designer request. It's like, oh, I don't want to have to click so much. Like, okay.
You don't want to have to dig through, and that's key information that we need all the time to refer to.
It's cool, but it's 100 inches too big. I'm not gonna waste my time. Okay, so from here you can remove these items, but you also don't need to. If you want to create a cart, first I should say you can share a board. So a cart is like you're gonna check out. But a board is like, I'm thinking with my client and I want to share them. Here's share with 100 items I'm looking at. What do you like? What do you not like? And you can share that with prices or without prices. Mm-hmm. Why am I missing the button here? Sorry, I created a board. I wanted to share a board. You can email them. You can customize your email, and then you can share without product prices or with, if you want. We have a lot of designers who, like, on the ideation page or phase, they don't want designers or their clients to be hung up on the price of each individual item. You can also copy the link and put it in your own email or share it online if you really want. Then I was going to go to create a cart. So here you can build client or build to me. And so in this build a client path, it's going to ask you first to select all of the carts, all of the boards you want to create a cart from.
Okay. So if they have multiple rooms, you can sell it as one cart. So it's one transaction.
Yeah. You can do it as a single one if you want to do it over time. But,
can I pause you for a quick second, Alex? Yeah. We have a question on Instagram that ties in with this. Adina Hall Designs wondering, what's the designer discount? Currently using Side Door, wondering how this differs. And you do differ because you have multiple tiers. So can you quickly go over what those are and what that looks like?
Yeah. Well, I'll go to the trade program page.
We're jumping today, but I love that people are engaged and asking questions, and because these are such good questions.
Yes, they are. That's excellent. So if you join for free, you get a 30% discount on everything. If you join for as a pro member for $9 a month, it's 40% discount on everything, or a Pro Plus member, which is $129 a month, it's 50% on everything. Being transparent, there are a couple exceptions that Peter mentioned earlier, like forehands is $35, but for that we do free shipping. We also have separate artisan pricing, so really tiny brands, usually they're makers, is closer to 5, 10, and 15%, but most of those have free shipping also.
That's helpful.
Yeah, we're trying to make that very easy for you, and usually if you're on the Pro Plus level, it's the best pricing you can get online.
And
I would agree with that from what I've seen. Yeah.
Calling out, like, we kind of try to show you, if based on what you project your spend will be, where you maybe will fall. I mean, if you're spending over $10,000 with us and you're not on the Pro Plus level, you're definitely losing money. That's always important to think about. And we allow you to switch between tiers whenever you want. So
if you have a big purchase and you're on the Pro plan, you could upgrade to the Pro Plus to get that bigger discount for a large purchase.
Yeah. Yep. And then
very cool.
And then we love you to stay, but you can also go back.
We understand that the work ebbs and flows. So.
I was just going to say that designers, we have a big purchasing season and then there's a lull. So I understand not always wanting to commit to a monthly fee, but when you know that you're going to make a big purchase, that $129 is more than worth it.
Yeah. And I said this a lot, we're pretty open about how we function as a business. We don't really make money off these subscriptions either. They're really set so I said before, we don't make money off shipping. When we lose money, this offsets that a little bit. but allows us to build a lot more features beyond just buying furniture.
I love it.
So.
Okay. Thank you for taking care of that question. Let's go back to the cart and get this stuff ordered and show designers how it all works.
Okay. So I'll go on this build a client path. Again, you can enter their name. It's pre-populated it because if you have your client information, and I am my own client, although I didn't tell it my email address, so you can fill that out. I'll have this sent to the concierge. They'll
love that.
Confuse your own team.
Yeah, it's like, what? Checkout. You can CC yourself or not.
Nice.
Create a subject line. And you can add a message if you want. You don't have to. Again, another place where you can adjust this discount if you're last time you're able to.
Okay.
So right before you send a cart, we also have this little feature here. This was a Peter request. But you can check it or uncheck this box, and it's allowing your clients to remove products before completing checkout. So I don't know how many other designers feel this way, but Peter was saying, if there's a key item and the client decides not to buy that, then I have to redo my design. It's like, so sometimes it's an all-in, but sometimes it's not.
And then other times I feel like you just want the client to be able to check out. You don't want to have to resend them an invoice if there's one item on there that they don't want.
I like that you're meeting different designers' needs in like it's a checkbox. This is really easy. I think that's great. Okay, so assuming the client loves everything, they want their one desk, not three, and all the office furniture, you've set your discount. There's a total there.
There's the total. You can also still remove an item. So, I've got 2 sofas here. I can take one of those off. And then I can select my shipping. This is where it will show you. We do ship to Canada. If there are any Canadians listening.
I'm glad you said that. I had a meeting with a Canadian designer yesterday who was wondering about things like this and what does that look like?
Yeah.
Is it still the 15% shipping, or are there different? I mean, like duties, taxes. I know things look different going across border.
It's not.
That's fair.
It's not 15. I'm forgetting what it is right now.
It was recently adjusted. It's under 25, which is apparently for Canadians still pretty.
It's very reasonable for getting stuff.
And that includes everything. So we handle the customs fees, getting it over the border, any process there. If it needs to, sometimes it has to switch the shipper once you cross the border, and we'll do that too. So that is to get it to you. And we have Canada is one of our fastest growing areas, and we have a lot of great customers there.
Wonderful.
So I made a mistake of using all 4 Hands products in this part. So it's free shipping. But
normally that would be 15% of your net.
15%, yeah. And then this is where you can upgrade. So the upgrades are charged. We try to keep them reasonable, and they're roughly 15% plus a per vendor charge. So we show you the math here. So if you want room of choice, it's 15% plus a $99 per vendor charge, and that you can figure it out on your own based on how many vendors you have, or it's automatically calculated. But just the logic, if people are curious, is those shippers need to go to multiple warehouses to pick these up and have them delivered. Usually separately. We can try to consolidate. We can't promise consolidation right now, but we can try sometimes. But they still are, separate shippers going to separate parts of the country sometimes. So that's why we charge that separately. And it's the same thing for white gloves. It's the 15% plus $199 per vendor.
That makes sense. Okay. So the top one, residential curbside / commercial, would be take it to a residence, but leave it on the driveway, or to a receiving dock, a loading dock. Okay.
And that's if it's palletized, you will have a pallet that you have to.
They're not unpacking, uncrating everything. Totally fine. And then everything else is just additional levels if you want to get it directly to your client's home.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Beauty.
And maybe I should explain.
I love that. I like the transparency of where the shipping numbers are coming from.
Yeah, we've had people, say, "Oh, I wish this could be shorter," and we made it a little shorter. But it's like there's a lot of detail in there, and we want to be really clear and make sure you know what you're getting. The last one we didn't explain is there's this expedited curbside. So it's still curbside shipping, but we will select faster shippers. And those usually they can be significantly more expensive. But so this is 18%, but it can
You're paying a premium for getting it there faster. That's completely understandable.
So then you can go into previewing your cart after you've selected your shipping. This you can't adjust your discount here, but you can still adjust your quantity. It's like, oh, I actually do need 2 of these cabinets. Whoops, did I put -3? That's not an option, but you can do 2. And you can have this sent, or you can go back and edit. So then this will send I'll send it to concierge right now. Hopefully they'll ignore that
and not go place a giant order for you.
But that'll come up like an e-commerce cart link to your customer. So we've found a lot of customers who receive that actually reduces how much they negotiate, which our designers like. It can be a little bit different from like an invoice, which is a lot more normal. And if you want to do an invoice, you're perfectly welcome to. You can go through and bill to me and do that whole checkout, then you handle the billing.
Gotcha.
But a lot of customers, they're like, oh, it's online. You can't negotiate online.
That does help to kind of have that it's online e-com behind you as an independent designer. I like that.
Yeah, and you can say, oh, this is the price.
And we collect 100% of the fee upfront, and then your commission is paid out as it ships.
And that I know is different than side door when they issue commissions on the back end once it's been delivered, which is fine as long as you know what to expect with each. But that's good to know. We're getting lots of questions, which I'm really excited about. So another question on Instagram: if we want to send items to a receiver, do you guys, as the procurement department, communicate with receivers to alert them of incoming items, timing of deliveries, etc.?
You know what? There's probably a little bit more we could do there when you talk about it as communicating. we've worked with a lot of receivers. We currently don't do kind of our own communication with them, but we have created our, it's not a side mark. There's another thing on the bill of lading that I'm forgetting what it's called, but we've set that up in the way receivers ask for it. So it will have your name and the product, part of the product name, so they know what it is, they know who it's for, and they know what it is.
I think that's great. And what you could do is literally send your receiver either like a PDF version or a link to the board, so they know exactly what to be looking for. We've kind of done a similar workaround of like, here's generate spec sheets and here's what you're looking for. So, but that is something that could be worked in the future. That's part of your procurement terms, is that you're giving a heads up to the receiver and notifying them and things like that. It's a cool idea.
Two things there too. Every week we send a weekly open order report. So we show you where everything is tracking.
So you're proactive with this. We're not going to be chasing you down.
Absolutely.
We did it every Wednesday.
Okay, groovy.
And that's really, really helpful. I had another point, so it's gone.
I'm writing a note right now.
I like that you guys are so responsive to this. I mean,
if we can CC the receiver.
I know what else I wanted to say, Alex.
Yeah, Peter.
We do have a list of sort of vetted receivers.
So if you need a receiver recommendation, you can help point designers because I know that's always a big hurdle when you're making your first like wholesale purchase, is like, who do I send? How does this all work? I think that's great, because finding a good receiver
it's tricky,
life-changing when you've got a good one, and hard to find a good one.
Yeah. And we try to update this fairly regularly. We have not personally worked with everyone on this list, so this is meant to be helpful, but it changes frequently, I think.
Yeah, you can't guarantee them, but these are ones that you have heard good things about or have come recommended in some form.
Yeah, and we've shipped to a lot of them now.
I did want to say also on this point, every month we host the Concierge Hour open forum. So we teach new and existing members how to use our site most efficiently and effectively. And then we always bring on some additional person to sort of do some kind of educational training. So we have done one with a receiving warehouse, and we always film those. So they are available on the site to view if that's helpful to you. If you're somebody who hasn't worked with a receiver and is thinking about it, we have like informational video on how to.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can find those. All that info is in our footer. There's the club bulletin where you can find these posts, or FAQs where you can find out about receiving or shipping, and you can watch these recordings. So like Freight Club, we do a lot of shipping with them, and they'll tell you all about shipping. We did our own video on how to receive packages.
Nice.
Or you can watch the last one, which is about specifying custom upholstery. So you got all sorts of options there.
Love it.
There was another question in the middle of that I thought I was going to answer, and now I can't remember what it is from myself.
Okay. There's one more question that's coming on Facebook, but it has to do with the boards. So let's finish like if there is any more to talk about with the procurement part, and then we can ask that at the end as we wrap up.
Okay. Well, the only thing I also was going to show on the cards is just really quick on the bill to me.
Yes.
So it works basically the same way. You can select multiple boards, create a cart, and then you get this. So it will default to your club discount though. So you don't have to adjust the discount. It's just you're buying it at your pricing, and you can still do all of the rest the exact same. And you can still enter your customers. Oops, I didn't select a shipping.
And obviously no tax on there, right? Because we are purchasing wholesale tax exempt as designers. Okay.
That is correct. And then you can check out, and you can still, this will show you, got some slow internet tubes today. Oh, there's an item that's sold out. And so it will tell you can't accidentally buy a sold out item.
Good.
I should say we leave those items in the board specifically to not confuse you. We actually this is a change we made. We used to take them out of your board, and people would be like, "What happened to that?
Where'd my sofa go?"
Yeah. And now we say they're sold out or discontinued is the other option. But then, so this is basically what your client will see once if they are clicking on that link you sent. So they would still see.
But their pricing, obviously, because right now we're looking at checking out to the designer. Okay.
Yeah.
But the checkout screen looks pretty much the same.
Yes. Oh, it does. Sorry. You do need to remove that item. You wouldn't be able to send it to your client with that. But
discontinued or unavailable item.
That's the one I removed before. Select shipping. Whoops. Check out. Okay, so then you can enter your
beautiful.
personal email, or your email, your location, or you can still have it. Even if you're billing to me, you can still have it shipped right to the client. Confirming this will default to what you want, but confirming that there, and then paying.
Payment info and go.
Yeah, and we, one small thing we don't really ever advertise, but we're built on Shopify, so you have access to Shop Pay. Your client also does, so they can pay in installments of, I think it will be up to 18 months, depending on the amount. So we have a fair amount of clients. Usually designers don't take advantage of that on their own.
But if your clients are shopping and they get the ability to do a payment plan, I like that.
Yeah.
You can get it on, like Amazon has like payment, like everyone's doing this now. So I love that you're on top of that.
Yeah. So, okay, there's the flows to purchase.
Beautiful.
What's the board question?
The board question is, I use design files. Is there any way that we can create the boards through design files, or does it have to be on your platform? I ask because design files has Side Door's whole library of products accessible right from their vendors that are on their platform that we can use, and other retailers like Pottery Barn. Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked. So the answer right now is you can clip it from our website, put it into design files.
Yeah.
We have talked about it with design files. We've spoken to them a couple times. It is something that is kind of on our list. It's again, being open, it's a fairly heavy lift technologically to develop that. So we haven't done it yet, but we know a lot of people are using both of those together. So it is the more you ask, the higher it'll move up the priority list.
Good to know. So nudge design files for that. They've got those, I can't remember where it is now, but you can put suggestions in for new features and things like that.
And nudge us. So But the Clipper tool does work. That is something we also, apparently the Clipper from design files to us used to not work. Don't know why.
Oh, okay.
But that's been fixed.
Good. Okay. I know there are some websites that their Cody backend stuff does not allow things to be clipped, but I'm glad to know that has been resolved, because that was definitely a pain when I was making design files, mood boards and stuff.
Yes.
I think this is great. I love that we've gotten some great questions today. I don't see anything else coming in. We have gone super long. So thank you, Peter and Alex, both for staying and chatting and doing this really, really deep dive. Anything else you want designers to know about how Daniel House Club can be your procurement department for your business? Is there anything that we've missed in terms of things you're doing to make designers' lives easier to order stuff?
Yeah, I think well, maybe it's a two-part. Try us out. You can try us for free. You can try us a small order. If you join, there are some good incentives for like free shipping for a month, or $100 credit to start. So you can basically see if you like us for free. Even with an order. And then the second part of that is you can talk to our concierges via email, via phone, or video call. We're making that video call feature a lot easier in a couple of iterations. So you can really use us like we're in your office. We're very available to talk to. And it doesn't just have to be behind some sort of veil on a computer. And it can be at any phase of the project. So it's not just after you've made an order. If you are starting your project and you have a mood board and some ideas, you can send that over and we can start working on pre-populating boards for you, or even adding vendors or products we don't have, to be ready for when your project is further along.
Awesome. So you really do become an extension of a designer's team, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last question before we wrap up. The question is, can we embed the boards on our own site? So like maybe you wanted to have a blog post where you did a mood board and you're selling the product, or you want to have a shop on your website. Can those boards be embedded somewhere for anybody to purchase from?
Not really.
No.
Okay.
So there's a little workaround for this, and that's also on our list. We know that's a requested feature. You can copy a link of a board and share the link, and people can see those products. That doesn't benefit you a lot right now. But if you go to the footer, you can become an affiliate, which allows you to share the links and still get that commission. And a lot of our designers do that also. We are working on a way to marry those, so it happens more seamlessly. But signing up as an affiliate is a pretty easy process, and it allows you to post a product anywhere.
And just to provide like a little bit of insight on why we don't currently offer that.
Yeah.
Because we've been really like strict with our vendors about what we really want the price to be. So we always want to be offering 50%. That has made it so that we're a little bit restricted on allowing a third party to share that somewhere else on the internet.
Because it becomes public on the internet, even though that designer price is not being publicly shared.
Correct. Yeah.
I can understand that. So this is protecting vendor relationships and making sure that everything is above board.
Yeah. But we know that designers use that tool and want that tool. So
it's cooking. There's ideas going up there. Awesome. Definitely. Thank you both so much. This was a long live, and I think I learned a ton. I'm really, really excited to do my next order through Daniel House Club and poke around a little bit more. And if you are a Daniel House Club member, this month's concierge hour, I believe it's next Thursday, I will be the one as the guest speaker. So I'm really looking forward to that, connecting with your audience, talking about pricing and profitability. So if you want in on that, join Daniel House Club and you'll get the information on coming live with us next week.
Great.
Thank you both.
Do you think you guys have a discount for your members on our site right now?
Share away. I want to hear about this.
I think it's 50% off a Pro Plus membership.
It's a Pro or Pro Plus.
And the code is Nancy50.
And Nancy is all capital letters.
So NANCY 50.
Correct.
All one word. And that gets anybody who's listening in Nancy's coaching world 50% off either the Pro plan, which is already a modest $9 a month, but that gets cut in half. But even the Pro Plus, the one that's $129, that's huge.
Yeah, and that'll apply for a year. So
1 year. Okay.
Yeah.
Fan-freaking-tastic, guys. I'm so excited. I know a lot of designers have been looking for something like this. So that excites me greatly that this is an option and you're working so hard and you're so responsive to designers. So thank you for all you're doing. I'm looking forward to doing more of these lives and educating the design world on new ways to purchase.
Thank you
we
for
are
having
too.
us.
Thank you, Lesley.
All right. Bye.